This is a table saw tenoning jig that I built a while back, but never got around to using. I had some other projects come up and it just didn't happen. But anyway, as soon as the weather turns nice again, I plan on using this quite a bit. It'll come in handy for obviously making tenons. I based the design on, I believe it was a Wood Magazine article, as well as some other designs floating around the internet. I think it's a pretty good design, but there are some things I would do different next time. And in particular, my fine adjustment mechanism here. I either need to replace this handle with some type of crank to make it easier and faster to adjust, or change this setup here to have some kind of disconnect for the nut so that I can disengage here, unlock these knobs here and here, so that I can move the top portion where I need it, lock this back down, and then proceed with my fine tuning. Right now, as it is, it takes quite a lot of turning just to move the jig back and forth. And also, if I go too far back, like right now, it's bottomed out. If I keep turning this, I'm going to pull this T-nut right out of here, and in fact, it's already working its way out, so I need to go at that a little bit different. Possibly put in a couple of screws just to make sure that doesn't back out. Here I have an oak runner for riding in the miter slot of my table saw. I also have two more oak runners here and there to slide the top portion back and forth while maintaining squareness, or as close to square as humanly possible. To make your adjustments for your cuts, these knobs here need to be loosened, and then of course you turn this, which takes far too long. I need either a coarser thread, like an Acme thread here, to make this process go faster, or be able to disengage the nut from the rod at this point so that I can make a coarse adjustment by just sliding the whole top and then re-engaging the threads here, and then making my final adjustment. The configuration of these knobs and these bolts holding my fence in place here, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out, but luckily, to change this, all I have to do is unscrew the knobs and pull this piece, and I can come up with some other mount. For the threaded rod adjustment mechanism, I purchased a 3/8 16 threaded rod at the hardware store. I also purchased a bronze bushing to act as a simple bearing in my wood block here. To lock that in place, I just have two nuts on this side here, tightened against each other. I also have a nut here at the top of the handle, just so that I don't have too much wear on the wood piece, but at the same time I'm not too worried about that at this point, because I do need to make some changes to this jig. I drilled a hole to house the threaded rod in the handle. I don't remember how deep I went, probably to about here. I then drilled a cross hole for a brass pin so that the handle would not come off. To make fine adjustments to the squareness of my upright piece here in relation to my table saw, I just used some paper shims. On this side here, you can see this one has rotated out of position there, but I'm sure it's still reasonably square. When I do get around to using this, I will of course put it on my table saw and then check for squareness in this direction here as well as here. Overall, it was a fairly fun project to work on. My own setup here, I have to drag all my tools out into the yard. I don't have a dedicated shop, so most everything takes about twice as long as it would if I had a dedicated shop. But this goes to show that you don't necessarily need a fancy Norm Abram style shop or any other noteworthy woodworker. You can do this kind of stuff in your backyard.